guys, it's Jeremy again, back with another video for the Life by the Square Inch video series. Once again, here with the My 30-Day World Challenge put forth by the Absolute Tabletop guys in conjunction with their Dead Man's Guide to Dragongrin Kickstarter campaign. We are back with day number 11, question 11. Who opposes evil and injustice in your world? Once again, I'm going to be talking about the 7 settings that I've been talking about thus far, first of which, of course, is Rostfin. So we already covered heroes in an earlier video, which is who I see kind of as the main opposition of evil and injustice. And for that reason, I'm going to take a more kind of global interpretation of this question. So in Rostfin, Evendel is the goddess of justice. And there's a group of followers from her temple in Davonshad, which is the largest city in the world. And they are known as the Justicars. They're mostly paladins and clerics, and they travel throughout all of Rostfin, trying to mete out the will of their goddess. They certainly aren't the only ones who stand up for the good and the right, but they're certainly the biggest name that's out there. The second setting that I'm going to talk about is Arath. On Hetust, which is the cold side of Arath, there's a collection of individuals that are known as the Wardens of Wathuk. Wathuk is a lesser mortal. He's also known as the Lantern Bearer or the Watchman. Now, the only moon is kind of seen as his lantern light, as he kind of watches over all. The only problem is that a lantern can only illuminate so much in the dark. So he's charged others to kind of help him keep watch. So these men and women travel around and they act as judges, if you will, kind of holding hearings and listening to grievances from each of the various places that they go. The third setting that I'm going to talk about is Acid Rain. In theory, justice is kind of what landed every single inmate here in Cadian's Keep. However, you know that certainly isn't a foolproof system. So evil, however, is a little bit of a grayer area in this setting. Even the inmates have some idea of good and evil, but again, morality is a really dangerous thing to cling to here because there's often times where it has to be weighed against survival. The fourth setting is Dowrenland. In Dowrenland, the opposition of the forces of evil and injustice are kind of just having to begin. These things have become rampant within the borders of the Kingdom of Spades and the Kingdom of Hearts, and they're just now starting to kind of spread to other parts of the land. So the Kingdom of Clubs has recently struck an alliance with the Kingdom of Diamonds, and they're trying to kind of stop them. However, they are outnumbered and are going to need the aid of heroes from the other peoples of Dowrenland kind of to prevail. The fifth setting is Caldera. This largely falls to the heroes of Caldera, opposing evil and injustice. Corruption and injustice, and even some evil, at the top of the power heap is kind of a strong staple in the Western genre. And people who are living on the frontier really felt like those who were in charge had largely abandoned them from kind of to their own devices, if you will. And so the same is definitely true for the Caldera. And while an organization like the Reclaimers are touted as being the harbingers of justice, this really isn't necessarily the truth all the time for the situation. The sixth setting is Chrome City. The Chrome City Police Department, or the CCPD, are the definitive law in the setting, but that hardly means that they're without evil or injustice of their own. Many of them are really just good cops that are overworked in a city of nearly 90 million people. But there are certainly bad apples that are in the mix. But who deals with evil and injustice in those situations? Well, finding that out is actually kind of half the fun of playing in the setting. The last setting is Momentum. Now, amongst the elves of the Ascended Isles, there are those who are losing their physical selves. They're slowly becoming ethereal due to their consumption of ether. Now, these elves are known as the Breathless, and they're believed to be gaining spiritually in equal transference to the corporal body that they're losing. So they're kind of treated like spiritual gurus, divine, if you will, and they're kind of slowly obtaining enlightenment. So these beings would definitely be a strong force against evil, and at least amongst the elves of the Ascended Isles. So that covers question 11. Who opposes evil and injustice in your world? This is another video for Life by the Square Inch. Once again, another entry into the My 30-Day World Challenge. So I hope you enjoyed, and until next time, may your dice roll high and your snacks always be within reach.